who will have their ticket punched for the Sunday Championship Sunday. For the men's field, the top four teams will advance to the playoffs. We have two pools, so the top two teams from each pool will move on. And then in the women's field, after we're playing a full round robin, the playoff field will be the top three teams. The number one seed will have a bye to the championship, while the number two and three seeds will have a semifinal to see who will qualify for that championship game. What's on the line, you might ask? I can hear you guys at home. What's on the line? And the answer is a berth at the U.S. National Championships coming up in mid to late March in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So a lot on the line to play for. And then also, um, Mopac has been fortunate to have the opportunity to send multiple teams to nationals, just given the number of teams that we have that participate, which is awesome. Um, so we don't know yet if we are going to get additional berths, but obviously we're hopeful, and the teams that are in the hunt for the playoffs, so hopefully maybe have a chance to qualify and get second if they can't get first. So uh, it's like Ricky Bobby used to say, if you're not first, you could be second. So I know Ricky Bobby never said that. So looks like Team Bets has the hammer after doing the last stone draw to see who will go last, the draw shot challenge. And so we have Team Raju with the broom down for the opening stanza of our symphony curling. I don't know. I was going to try to wax more philosophical, but it's early. The first rock is away for Team Raju, hailing out of the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. As this first end of coverage is being brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Curling.gg. So opening with a intern draw. Going to settle in the rings that might draw play into the rings early in this first end. Not an uncommon strategy, as we see Team Bets quickly did. Oh, looks like okay. I see what happened. Uh, maybe a couple laughs. Raju's lead through the wrong color stone, not a totally uncommon occurrence. Um, and the easiest fix is it's the easiest fix in the world for curling. All they do is just replace the stones. There's no need to reshoot to uh, shoot again or anything like that. Um, but okay, so Raju is switching the stones in the set of blue, and that's also not entirely uncommon, where the stones have numbers. Um, but players kind of have their favorite stones, based on how the rocks are playing, and that seems to be maybe what happened here. Um, so just a little bit of a hiccup to start the game, but I guess it's good to have it happen now with the very first stone, and hopefully get everything squared away. As we see Eric Putnam uh, push out of the hack. He's been curling for 2.5 years. He's come a long way. I curled with him at a five and under event in Denver, and he's come a long way. He's actually was on a team that went to nationals for a discipline. Oh, just maybe a bit of an announcer curse there to start. My apologies, as he flashed his opening rock. So he's come a long way, and we'll see if he'll be able to, obviously bounce back from that. And then for Team Raju, this is the lead for Raju. This would be appear to be Danny Pazukowski. And I may double check the pronunciation with someone who might know. But that was Danny. He's been curling for 3 years, looking to put up the intern guard. And then looks like it's touching the rings. Let's take a look at the overhead camera. And indeed it is. So that actually goes into the house. It's a front stone. Still full points from Danny. So very quickly, we're going to see Eric get set for his next stone. And since both of those blues are in the rings, Team Betts is going to look to try to take those out. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but Team Betts is playing out of the Wine Country Curling Club out of Sacramento area, technically Roseville. Uh, and like I said, Putnam's come a long way, and he went a long way for that double takeout successfully. So good points, full marks for Eric. So have an open house, and we also have a center guard for Jason Nee's first rock here. Second stones here in the first end. And we'll see this rock, and I'll be back momentarily. We're looking at Jason's second stone head down. It looks like it's going to be a middle guard. It is close to the center line. I think we'll call it a center guard, sure. So it's not really covering much of the shot stone. So I think the second for Putnam, which would be Evan Tudor Elliott, is going to maybe take it on. And looks like they're trying to coax it over, and it does not want to be coached. It does crash on the yellow guard and clears it, so not a bad outcome. There could have been a plan B that Betts is looking for. Pretty interesting start to this game. We have four games on the sheet in this opening stanza, as we see the third for Raju getting set and delivering. That's Amar Masalma. And it looks like he's putting up a guard. It looks pretty good with the intern counterclockwise rotation. It's a front stone settling in the top of the house, or maybe just a bit outside, but still the mission was accomplished. The line was the more important part here, as Betts is asking Evan to. I'm sorry, that's not Evan. That's going to be Chris Skidmore. Chris Skidmore, the vice, to take it on. And it's past the guard. It's going to hit the top blue, and that's all. But it does open up the middle slightly, so Betts could get to it if Raju leaves it open. But I don't think Raju wants to leave it open, as he gets set for another guard or front stone from Amar. Apologies for that. All right, we'll get these cameras set. All right, we're maybe the camera setup's waking up too this morning. All right, there we go. And like I said, the line's the most important part for these types of front stones or guards. And Amar delivers with another center guard. Um, there's two possible paths to that shot stone, um, or just clearing. Um, and let's see what Betts has on tap for Chris. Looks like they're going to try to go through the port again. If it peels the guard, that's not a bad outcome, which I think is a plan B, and I think plan B is going to come into effect. Oh, and just a lucky bounce, and uh, it rubs off the blue, bounces off the yellow, or pushes the yellow into the rings, and the yellow taps the blue to the back eight. So uh, I would definitely love to have replay for a shot like that. Goodness, that's it's good to be good, but better to be lucky, maybe, from Chris Skidmore. So PN Raju makes his way down the ice for his opening shots. Just looking to pop out the shot stone. I think maybe roll under cover a bit as we see Raju with his first of two skip stones without the hammer here in the first end. So it looks pretty good. Wants to make some contact on the yellow. It does. I think they were hoping for a little bit more curl, but that's not a bad place to be. It's open, so Team Best doesn't take any time to put the broom down to hit it, and then hopefully roll under that cover that Raju was looking towards. I think Raju was going for the cover. And we see David Betts, the skip of the his team, hailing from the Wine Country Curling Club, looking for a bit of a hit and roll. This is handing out wide, so they're really sweeping to try to get some contact on it at all. And I think it might just kisses it, and less than ideal outcome for David as it wicks off the blue and actually pushes the shot blue under the cover that both teams were looking for early in this game, late in the first end. So it looks like Raju is going to try to just kind of close the door on that side, um, sit two or three stones, and I think really force Betts to not a not easy draw to the button. It's not going to be a super difficult draw per se, but um, it's not going to be a gimme. As we see Raju with his last rock here in the first end without the hammer. Some do a bit of a positive release. Some of the players are saying the ice has been running fast, um, but people obviously make adjustments to their deliveries to have the optimal speed, and so we saw that positive release, and it looks like it was a good call for Raju to get the stone to tap the shot stone back to the edge of the button, and Betts wastes no time lining out that draw that I think that he was going to have to make. So you can see that the button and most of that 1 foot circle is open. But the question is, like, he needs to have a pretty good draw to get right to that sweet spot. I guess the good thing is that teams practice these types of shot, especially when they warm up. And let's see if David David was sharp in practice. As we are here with opening rocks, this is the final rock of the first end with David Betts. Sweepers are walking with the rock, which could be a good sign. It could be a tricky sign. It's looking pretty good. That was a great adjustment by Betts from his first stone being too heavy and flashing, and just a smidge heavy, but it looks like it was enough for the single point. So a good draw there to get that single point. He was forced though with the hammer. You want to try to have multiple points when you have the hammer to store, and when you don't store multiple points, it's called a force. When you're only forced to 1 point, maybe that's where it got its name from. Uh, um, but a good start for Team Bets, and also a good start for Raju, as Raju will have the hammer, and we'll see what he can do with it when we come back to the 2025 Mopac Championships presented by Curling.gg. And ongoing coverage of this event is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. Uh, Fans of the top men's and women's teams from around the world can see how their team ranks against others with the custom algorithm created by proprietor Ken Pomeroy, doubletakeout.com, and by curling.gg. Insert catchphrase here. No, for stips and curlers who love a good game, curling.gg is your ultimate practice tool. Free, easy, and all about strategy. Visit curling.gg to test your skills. Right, meow. And there's curling.gg. Test your stip skills against your friends online at curling.gg. Free online curling platform with real physics simulation. And by Endgame Curling. Endgame Curling is an American manufacturer of tube rooms, including the Endgame origin of the Endgame icon, as well as the travel handle that breaks into three pieces for convenience, storage, and carry-on baggage. EndgameCurling.com. So rocks in play here in this second end, as we see Eric put up a center guard. Not quite sure of the rotation. I again once again try to keep store of the shots, and to see if the players are making the shots and what types of shots, and a whole lot more. Hopefully, this information helps um, offer some insight in this game as we see Raju's lead with the opening rock for his team, and again that's going to be Danny Pazikowski. I know I'm not getting it quite right, but I will keep trying. And Danny draws into the rings with the outturn. Looks to be a little wide and a little deep, so looks like Betts can make a play on it with Putnam's second rock if he were to choose. And that is what he chooses. In a moment, we'll be going around the rings to let you guys know what's happening on the other sheets in this morning draw here. Final day of pool play. We'll see which teams are going to move on to Championship Sunday. And Eric's a tall lad, so he is kind of maybe challenging us to change our camera angles a bit more. But that hit is made, and he sticks around to be shot in the back 4 foot. And Eric is, sorry, Raju is looking to draw on top with Danny's second stone. And coverage of this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Proprietor Tim Pomeroy updates the site after every major curling event to offer insights and statistical information about the top men's and women's teams from around the world. It's a fascinating site. You can sort based on the ranking that he creates. Also, you can see how top teams from countries fare. So if you want to see how the top American teams are doing, you can do so at doubletakeout.com. So the broom is down for Betts' second after Danny puts up a rock in the top 8-foot ring. A little high, but it's definitely going to be usable. I think that is also what Raju wanted, as we see Evan Tudor Elliott with his first rock looking to draw around that center guard. And just as a reminder, we are playing with the no tick rule for this event. Still a relatively new enhancement of the free guard zone rule, applying specifically to the center line, where for the first 5 rocks of an end, an opponent cannot dislodge the opposing team's stone on the center line. If they do make contact with the stone, it is a penalty, and the non-offending team can choose to remove the stone and remove the offending stone and replace the original rock, or they can let the rocks play out as or leave the rocks as they played out. As we see Jason's first rock going for a hit, and that was the sixth rock to the end. So that is how Jason could peel it, and he does. So good job there from Jason, clearing out the front. So definitely enjoy having you everyone on the YouTube stream. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. We are keeping an eye on things and responding as we can. And we have some fun in the chat. Maybe not so much in the morning when people are still waking up, but last night it was fun with some Mopac After Dark. Evan's second stone here, looking to chip out the blue, and it looks like it's pretty close to being on the money as a contact is made, and the blue will go through the house out of play, and the shooter will settle down on the edge of the 12-foot ring. So Raju has the broom down to do some cleanup on aisle 2, looking for Jason's second rock. Looks like Amara is really sweeping to hold the line, and it looks pretty good. It's going to get one, and that's all. The shooter's also going to roll wide across the back, or across the bottom of the house from here. It's going to settle in the back of the playing area, still in play, but not scoring. So with Betts sitting 2 without the hammer, it looks like Chris Skidmore is being asked to draw, maybe put up a front stone. So this is going to be more of a guard to top of the house weights. It's carrying a little bit just by my eye. I'll get my stopwatch out at some point and maybe start timing some of these rocks, as it is going a little too deep for a guard. So I think they were going for a plan B to maybe get it closer to the yellow, but I wonder if they maybe wanted to not sweep it as much. I mean, they swept it at the very end, which maybe affected it slightly, but I think you may have wanted it higher. But not a bad place as we see Amar with his first rock, looking for some more cleanup here with the out turn counterclockwise rotation. And it's going to get one, as that's all, as the top yellow gets jammed on the back yellow, bumps out the back yellow. So still some good cleanup from Amar. And very quickly, Chris is out with his second stone, looking to pop out the blue that Amar just put up. And that shot is made, and that yellow is in the 8-foot ring. And that's a little bit higher. I think that's kind of where they may have wanted that stone for 2 stones ago. Maybe not position wise, but in terms of relative to the center of the ring. As we see Amar looking to take out the shot stone in the back 4 foot. This is curling a bit, so they could call an audible as it chips the top yellow, and the top yellow goes and jams on the blue that was in the back of the playing area outside of the house. So you don't always see those stones in the back of the playing area, be used, but that is an example right there of why we don't take those rocks out under the rules. So Amar's shots was looking for a takeout. Had something of a positive outcome. As I'm trying to score, you try to think about, if the shot was made and if it wasn't made, what, how much of it was made or how much of it wasn't made. So it improved the situation somewhat as the top of the house is open, and it looks like David Betts is going to put a front stone in front of the shot stone. And I was saying front stone because it's not necessarily in the guard area in front of the rings, but it's in front of an area that the team wants to protect. As the sweepers are just walking it down, this is one of those rocks that will sit down in the top 8 foot. The rocks are interesting. Front stone shot was made. I say that because it looks like they're coasting, and then they kind of hit the brakes, if I'm saying it right. Um, as they get into the rings. So it's interesting to see these. They're playing consistently though, and as I said, like people have said, the ice has been pretty fast throughout this event. So with David Betts sitting for Team Raju, and Skip PN Raju is going to they're going to try to do some more cleanup, and it's just hopefully take out one or two of these Betts yellows and stick around for maybe being shot, or at least cut the possible steal that Betts is building right here. And he's gonna clip the top yellow, and the shooter's gonna roll away, and then the yellow that got clipped settles in the back of the 12-foot ring. It taps the yellow that was hanging onto the edge, and it may have pushed that yellow out. That yellow with this that was already there out. But I just if it comes into play, we might have to do a measure. But I don't think it's going to come into play. But some funny things have happened on the way to the forum. As we see David Betts' last shot without the hammer here in the second end, looking to put up another front stone, I believe. Eric jumps on it for sweeping, I think trying to hold the line, but then is called off. Looks like it might settle into a pretty good place as Eric put a last polish on it. This is going to go right to the button, just a little deep, and that's going to give Raju an out, as Raju can bump that yellow back, and if they stick around in the 4 foot, they'll get a single point. So that shot's not a total miss, but it doesn't necessarily improve the situation too much. As I mentioned, that does give Raju an out. You can see there's clocks in the background. As I've mentioned throughout the tournament, teams are being timed throughout this event. 8 ends of play, and you have 30 minutes of thinking time to finish those 8 ends. And the clock runs as you get set for your shot. Sweepers are on it. Let's see if Raju has this shot dialed in for a single point. And it's there. Cash money for PN Raju. And I'm speaking metaphorically. We don't actually have any money. Uh, he makes the shots. He is forced to a single point. So teams are playing pretty tough here in the opening ends. We are tied as we head into a second end pause. We'll be back in just a moment as our coverage continues from the 2025 Double Takeout Mopat Championships coming to you live from Oakland, California. While the teams are getting ready for the start of the third end, let's take a quick look around the rings. Show you the around the rings coverage. uh, we are updating scores at Bonspieler. To let you guys know, the 4 games on the ice, they're all, well, there's three men's games, one women's game on the ice this draw. On sheet A, we have Team McBride of Orange County up 1-0 over Team Spangler from one country. Sheet B is our feature game where teams have traded singles back and forth. We're tied at 1. Team Bets of one country and Team Raju of SFBACC. Sheet C, we have Team Barajas facing off against Team Leclerc. Team Leclerc of Coyotes is up 1-0 over the Barajas rink, hailing from SFBACC. As we see the opening rock here from Danny, looking to do the intern guard, I believe. And then we have one women's game on the ice this draw. It's Team Camarena of SFBACC up 1-0 over Team Aces of Silicon Valley. As I mentioned, I think earlier, we have 7 women's teams in the field. The playing a true round robin. Each women's team is playing 6 games, and then the top 3 women's teams will advance to the championship Sunday. The top women's team, the 1 seed, will get a bye to the final, while the 2 and 3 seeds will play a semifinal in the morning. And then in the men's field, we have 12 teams in the men's field. Have been divided. We have divided them into 2 pools of 6, and that means each men's team plays 5 games of pool play. The top 2 finishers in each pool advance to the championship, where they play single elimination games. So it looks like Putnam was going to put up a center guard, but it is going to tick the center line guard, and that leads to a no tick rule violation, and that rock is gone. So as we see, Danny gets set, I think, to draw around his guard. Danny's been curling for 3 years. His previous experience in this event was the last year's men's club playdowns, playing lead, and then he's also he was an A event runner-up while advising a team at the 2024 Pacific Northwest Curling Association's 5 and under Bonspiel. So interesting experience. And the 5 and under, for people who may not know, is a tournament for newer curlers. It's called the 5 and under because the players have 5 years of experience or less. So that's how we did the 5U. Uh, People like to ask, is it for people who are 5 years of age and under, which would be very adorable, but not what we're doing with these 5Us. So Danny puts up the dart, pretty deep, but it's in play and buried. So we will see how Eric Putnam responds. And Eric has been playing for 2.5 years, as I mentioned. He's come a long way. Um, He is an incredible dancer, according to his bio. I've not seen any evidence of it, but we'll take him at his word. Also, a 2-time Wine Country Curling Club Chile Cook-Off winner. Some of his experience includes playing at the Arena Nationals, sorry, the Mopac Arena Playdowns for Arena Nationals. Apologies for stumbling over that. Uh, and finishing in the quarterfinals as lead. It looks like that guard is going to slip into the top of the rings, but it is in a corner position as we see the net shot coming from Jason Nee. Jason has been playing for 4 years. Let's switch views here. And that's going to be a pretty good draw around that high center guard. Going to land on the button. So it looks like the 5 rock rule is over, so Betts can peel the guard, and that is what he's opting to do with Evan Tudor Elliott's first rock. Uh, Evan Tudor Elliott is playing second. That's his bio. As we look to see if the peel is made and that looks successful, and the shooter is going to roll to the boards out of play. That shot is made. So it looks like Raju is going to ask Jason to put up another, well, he's going to put up a front stone after drawing for his first. And Jason's been curling for 4 years. He was a fourth place finisher at last year's men's club playdowns, playing a skip. He also went to the 2022 Arena National Championships as lead and finishing with bronze. And he also has been to the PNWCA 5U as skip, finishing with silver. And then a couple of Bay Area Bonspiels in the past year. All of this was in the past year for these other two things. He was bronze at the Golden Gate Bonspiel as a skip, and was silver as a vice at the Silicon Valley Bonspiel. So that front stone was made by Jason, and we're gonna see Tudor Elliott's do another peel action, and that shot was made. So he's been pretty solid with these peels. And the shot selection is pretty clear. Raju is asking Amar to put up another front stone. And Amar's been curling for 11 years. Finished in fourth place as skip at last year's men's club playdowns. Also was at the mixed playdowns this year for Mopac, finishing in the quarterfinals as lead. And his front stone looks to be pretty close to being made. It covers about half of the shot stone, so best to try to peel, or he's going to try and draw in. Uh, Light takeout weight, I would say, kind of the hack weight in between a draw and a normal takeout. As we see Chris Skidmore push out from the hack. Uh, the coverage of this end is being brought to you by Endgame Curling. And this shot looks pretty good. It's past the guard. And it's going to make contact on the shot stone, push that blue back to the 12 foot, and it's going to jam on the blue that was already there. And that yellow is shot stone. It is open, although it is there's some backing now, some jam possibilities, as we see Amar Masalma get set for his second stone. Trying to sweep to hold the line. They don't want to jam. And now Jason jumps on, I think, to coax it over a little bit more. And it does hit the shut stone, but it does jam on the back. But it is a good outcome for Team Raju as that yellow is third shot. So Betts is asking for a very similar shot to Chris Skidmore's first hack weight, light takeout. Chris has been curling for 6 years. Experience includes the quarterfinals at the Men's Arena Playdowns. I think I've already read this. No, I haven't read this one. But Chris has been curling for 6 years out of wine country and sometimes San Francisco. Trash is on the guard and actually kind of whips off of the other yellow in the guard zone and promotes the blue in. So it actually is going to be a miss there from Chris. So the broom is down. I think Raju does not have the hammer, but they're sitting three. So I think they're looking to put up a front stone to just kind of protect the advantage they have built over this end. The Team Raju is putting on a lot of pressure on Team Betts as PN Raju delivers his first rock here of the third end without the hammer. Raju has been curling for 10 years. He has, I think, arguably the most international experience in this field. Uh, Maybe not counting some of the players from Canada because Canada is a different country, despite what some people might argue. Uh, that's my slight political joke of the weekend. That'll be my last joke along those lines. But Raju plays for Team India. He has 60 international caps for India at World Curling events and has helped India get its first World Curling Tour podium finish at both mixed doubles and men's. So, and they don't give out caps anymore. I have not asked, but I'm pretty sure they do not give people caps for playing in international games. That front stow from Raju is made. That looks great. And so Betts is just going to try to force open the center so he has a draw for a single point. I think Betts is I think conceding that he is unlikely to get multiple points. I can't say it's impossible, but it's looking pretty unlikely. As David Betts pushes out from the hack, he's been curling for 6 years. Was the champion of the mixed playdowns last season, and Raju is the champion of this year's mixed playdowns. So we have two champions from mixed playdowns. Mixed is the men's and women's format where two men and two women play on the same team. It's a interesting format. Leads to some variety and some interesting lineups. And it's kind of fun to see that we have the current mixed champion in Raju, and then last year's champion in Betts on the ice. So Raju gets set for his last. Some more of Raju's experience at this event. He was in the 24 field and the 2022 field, skipping both times with a fourth place finish last year and a fifth place finish in 22. As I mentioned, he was the champion at this year's mixed playdowns from Mopac. He's going to be going to the national championship coming up in just a couple months at the Denver Curling Club, if I remember correctly. He was also a champion at the 2020 5 and under national championship. I think that predates USA Curling taking it over. I could be wrong. Was also at the California Pacific Invitational Championship Playdowns as a skip, winning in 2018, and was also at the U.S. Arena National Championships in 2017 as a skip in fourth place. So some of these teams have arena experience, even though they're no longer on arena ice. It's interesting to see how teams and clubs progress over the years. In order to qualify for the Arena National Championship, you have to play exclusively on arena ice for league. You can travel to bonspiels like this or tournaments like this to play on dedicated ice, but um, you can't play league on dedicated ice. And this is dedicated ice insofar as it's ice dedicated for curling. And that's how we differentiate between the playing facilities in the world of curling. There's also natural ice, which is ice that is not it's using nature's cooling as opposed to the artificial cooling systems that we have. Betts is looking to draw here, kind of out wide. Needs to really kind of cut Raju down uh, as Raju has four in the rings, and this is going to go past most of them. It's going to go past all of them, and it's just a very unfortunate miss there from David Betts to give up a steal of four. So agony for Betts, but ecstasy for Raju as Raju takes a 5-1 lead over Team Betts. Take another pause in the action, and we'll be right back to the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com Mopac Championships live from Oakland, California. As the teams talked it over, I know I was talking about the difference between arena and dedicated ice, but in terms of shot selection, I think the draw was likely the best shot that he could have done. He could have tried to, you know, throw into the mess in front of the rings, but may have had a similar outcome. Uh, for teams that like to hit, hitting may have been a good call too because it would have cut Raju down to two or maybe one. Um, but also, it seems like maybe Betts is trying to score two, and that would be the way to score was that draw because it was unlikely that Betts was going to score throwing down the middle, and the draw was likely the best way to score. So. Just unfortunate development for Betts. Uh, Raju, though, in a pretty good position as I'm going to bet dollars to donuts. And there are donuts in the lounge this morning. Super happy about that. A player brought them in. Dollars to donuts that Raju is going to throw in the rings. And that is indeed what he does as that settles in the top 8 foot. And so Betts is going to put up a corner guard, which is a sound strategy as needs to generate some offense here in the start of the fourth end. As Eric pushes from the hack. Eric talked about him winning a chili cook-off. Let's tell you about some of the other things that he may have that he have participated in as we watch this rock hopefully settle down into the guard position. Looking pretty good. Tight to the reins, and it definitely does give Betts some options here. So it looks like Raju is now going to put up a guard with Danny's second stone here in the fourth end. Oh, we're playing 8 ends of regulation, although teams can choose to resign early if the game is out of hand. Although things can obviously change, but all the games so far have gone the distance on our broadcast sheet, which is super nice. I was saying front guard, but that was kind of the shot I was picturing Betts making next, a slight hit and roll. So Daddy and Team Raju surprised me. But that was a really good shot there. I would say full points. And so now the question is, what does Betts do? And I think this makes sense. I think they're going to try to put up another corner guard on the other side of the ice. Again, trying to create offense. It might be tempting to make a play on that shot stone on the forefoot, but Betts needs places to put those yellow stones and not quite ready to go into the house, I'm guessing, especially as we see that rock move towards the guard, a corner guard position. And so those rocks cannot be dislodged for at least another stone. So Raju's going to put up a guard, and then after this, we're going to probably see some cleanup by Raju, and I think we're going to see Betts um, keep trying to draw and put up guards to try to score multiple points. It's the fourth end, and still plenty of games, so you don't need to try to get back all the 4 points right away. If you take two here and then force Raju to one, take two. Basically, get two when you have the hammer and force Raju to a single when you don't have the hammer. That's a way to get back into this game. Let me show you what I'm seeing, and that is a guard by Jason. A good shot there. So now the 5 rock rule is over. So with the path to the house kind of clogged up, uh, David Betts is asking Evan to do some cleanup. It makes sense because both draws around the corner guards is looking pretty lousy, at least from this view. So Evan's going to get one, and that's all as the guard from Raju goes back and jams on the shot stone. Raju is sitting two, and there's 3 Betts guards. Um, it looks like Raju is going to put up another front stone. Jason's shot heads down the way. It's morning, man. I'm not normally a morning person, but I'm always happy to be here in the morning for a Mopac event and especially curling events. Um, Also thankful I wasn't on Ice Crew because Ice Crew is here even earlier. But we are definitely thankful for the Ice Crew. Uh, Definitely seeing some excellent ice conditions this weekend as Betts is looking to peel. So I think Betts is doing this so that he can have shots into the rings, but Raju is doing a good job of forcing Betts to make these shots. It's going to clear the blue guard, then the shooter rolls to a position kind of along the draw path for the corner guard on the left side of the sheet here. So it's getting kind of messy up front of the house, and Raju is still sitting two in the rings as we are to Vice Stones. And it looks like Raju is asking Amar to draw on the left side from this view, but it's going to be the right side. It's basically kind of the opposite side of where we've seen play so far. So looking to put up a guard. I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's a port, but I don't know if Raju is going to go into that port now. And indeed, he does put up some cover. So now the strategy is changing a bit as Betts has the room down for a draw. I mentioned there's a port down the this left side from where Chris is sliding. Basically, If they can get to the port and sit one, then it might start to set up an opportunity for bets. Kind of changing the strategy than what was being set up, but you have to play the rots as they're on the ice and not, you know, the textbook sometimes. You had to throw the textbook out sometimes. A little bit of a wick off of the yellow guard. It's going to settle in on the back forefoot. Pretty buried, although that draw path is now open. Um, Skidmore got a lucky bounce, as it were, but that really worked out for him. So Raju has the broom down for Amar to draw. And this is going to be a draw through that port. Let's keep an eye on the overhead cam here. And this looks pretty good. On the money, on the pin there from Amar Masalma. Some excellent shot from both vice skips or the thirds. And so now Betts is kind of in a bit of a jam. Kind of talking over what to possibly do. Um, it's not looking good in the range, and so he's maybe looking to open up the front of the house to have a chance. And that does seem to be where the broom is for Chris's second stone. Looking for some more cleanup. And this is going to get a stone and see some pinball action. And then one of the guards bounces back towards the center. So it improves the situation marginally as we take another look at the overhead. It does an okay job of clearing things out. So Raju is sitting one buried on the pin, up four in the fourth end. And so I'm gonna guess that Raju is going to put up a front stone or a guard, just to really close down the side of the sheet. On the left view, we'll be right in a moment. Just this side of the sheet, and then Betts is going to be, kind of trying to figure out how we can get into the score. So I said a front stone. I think he wants to be in the range to prevent like a raise, and that seems to be what happened. And it does tap the shot stone. It does create a bit of an opportunity for Betts. Looking at the overhead, it looks like Raju is sitting two. If I were to be a betting man, but not a betsing man. Uh, so it looks like they're going to try and go into the pocket somehow and open things up. But Raju is definitely cranking up the pressure on Team Bets, especially with that draw there. And there's only one way to get at these stones, and that is through that port. So uh, there's the pocket, but the angle is not really set up really well for the pocket. So I think they are going to try to throw some heat at this and hit the inside, the blue that's towards the bottom, or now the outside blue, hit the inside of the outside blue and kind of roll back towards the middle, if I were to guess. Because there's access, but it's not the best access to the stone. As we see David Betts with his first rock here, looking to move some granite. Not a ton of weight though. Obviously, the line's going to be important. I think they want to kind of jostle some things around. It's around the guard, and now it's trying to hit the top blue and then roll on top of the blue stone, but it's still Raju sitting one. But that is probably probably the best outcome you can get given all the rocks in play right now. And so Raju is going to try to close the door. Um, and if he closes the door, I think Bez is going to try to do a circus shot. My prediction is that Raju blocks the front, and so Bez is going to probably have to try to do like a to run the blue back on the bottom onto the shot stone blue, and then hopefully gets both blues moving and has at least one yellow stick around. So uh, that's kind of how I see this end shaping up with the two stones to go. But again, Raju, man, excellent shot making and strategy, really turning up the heat. It's 26 degrees on the ice. The ice surface is 26 degrees, but Raju is cooking right now. With his last shot away, looking to put up a front stone or a guard. If he's in the rings, I don't think that's too bad. But definitely the line is one of the important things as we see the stone settle in the top of the 4 foot. So that's a great stone there. Um, okay, so I said he was going to put up a guard, and it's not a guard, it's a front stone, which is not too bad. But now it creates a situation where the angles are set up. There's two shots. There's that crazy circus shot I was thinking about, the angle takeout, the angle raise takeout, or the more simple shot is to throw heat down the middle, a path that Betts has just gone down, to run the blue onto blue, and hopefully, onto yellow, but with enough force to, make sure that yellow is shot at the end of it. But it looks like it's going to be a shot for one. So Raju did create a bit of an opportunity for Betts here. So it's not going to be an easy shot, and I don't know if it was always going to be a tricky shot down this middle. So a lot riding on the line. A chance for one from David Betts. The hammer here in the fourth end. Not throwing a lot of heat, so this is going to be more of a tap tap. And then it's important that the line is held. Needs to scoot over maybe just a smidge. Actually, it's looking pretty good. So we're going to see a tap, tap, and not enough. Uh, as the Raju Blues on the pin. So Raju's going to steal one. But that was a good effort from Betts. I really think they needed more energy on that shot, but I don't know if the line was available for them to do it. So very good effort, but it is Raju stealing the fourth end to take a 6-1 lead over Team Betts. Going to take a pause in the action, and we'll be right back as our coverage continues from the 2025 MOPAC Championships presented by Curling.gg. And coverage of this event is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Check out stats and information and rankings of the top men's and women's teams around the world at doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Next time you're confused on ice, take a photo, recreate it on curling.gg, and try multiple outcomes. It's the only platform that lets you take a shot, undo, and try again. Curling.gg. And by Endgame Curling. Elevate your Bonspiel game with a three-piece travel handle, a carbon fiber handle engineered for convenience and fits most carry-on luggage, and is compatible with the heads of other curling broom brands. EndgameCurling.com, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the 2025 MOPAC Championships presented by Curling.gg. Rods in play to start our fifth end as the opening rod from Danny for Team Raju settles into the top 8 foot. So I think we're going to see a similar approach to this end where Raju will throw into the rings and Betts is going to try to put up guards to try to generate some offense. That was kind of how they started, but then the situation got pretty messy in the rings, and so Betts had to, try to create something, and was not able to. As we see the first stone from Eric Putnam going for the corner guard, and it looks like it's going to be pretty cornery. And with that corner guard made, let's take a quick trip around the rings. You saw the all houses view just a moment ago, but let me update you on the scores for the people that couldn't see the scoreboards very clearly. They're pretty small on that view, as we see Danny's net shot. I think looking to draw around the guard that he just put up. So going around the rings on sheet A, the contest between Team Spangler of Wine Country and Team McBride of OC Curling. They are tied at 3 at the fourth end break, and that draw ends up being open a bit. So in the rings provides a target, and it looks like Betts is going to go into the rings for his shot selection because he could hit and roll, and seems to be the shots as the broom is down for Putnam. And Eric shots away as it heads down the ice. To let you guys know, we were watching the feature sheet where we have Team Raju up 6-1. Raju hailing from San Francisco Bay Area, and Team Betts from Wine Country. This shot looks pretty good. I think they were hoping for a little bit more roll towards the outside as the hit's made, but it rolls in. So good outcome. The rock is not where they wanted it to finish, and so Raju is going to pop it and maybe lock it. We don't see too many pop and locks in curling. Broom is down for the hits as we see Jason Nee with his first. This is curling pretty good. I think we're going to see a hit and roll under cover on the other side. And it does roll under, actually rolls under entirely the center stone, so it's exposed. So Betts could try to draw around the corner guard that he put up. You kind of put up corner guards to hopefully use them. Um, but Betts is focused on the two blues in the house, which is understandable. Looking to see if he can hit and roll. I, it makes sense to make a play on those blues because you don't want to let Raju keep piling stones into the rings. Looking for hack weight. So looking for a hit and roll hack weights from Evan Tudor Elliott's. And this looks pretty good for the hit, but I don't know if we're going to see much of a roll. So we got a pop, and it jams the blue onto the other blue, but the second blue will go through the rings and sit down on the edge of the 12 foot. So pop, but not quite a lock. Although Raju is looking to peel that yellow in the top of the rings as Jason gets set. A lot of action early in this end. I was going to do a store update, and I ran out of time. Um, but that peel is made, and the shot goes away. The shooter goes away. So as Betts gets the shot down for Evan. On sheet C, the game between Team Barajas of San Francisco, he's up 2-1 over Team Leclerc of Coyotes. And then on sheet D, the only women's game on the ice this draw, we have Team Aces up 3-1 over Team Camarena. Aces is from Silicon Valley, and Camarena is a San Francisco ring. So um, it looks like now Betts is trying to bring that corner guard into play. It looks like it might be going a little deep. And so it is second shot, and I think Raju is going to try to hit it out. From the overhead, it looks decent, but when you look at the head-on view, it's pretty exposed. And so Amar is going to try to pluck it out. And this end of competition is being brought to you by curling.gg. As they really swept it to get past the guard. It does. It's going to hit the yellow and then roll towards the outside. And so now Raju is sitting 3. So that was a great draw there from Amar to get past the guard and to pop the yellow out. First draw coming from Chris Skidmore. I was going to joke. I don't know where he's from, but Chris Skidmore of the Pennsylvania Skidmores. Uh, but yeah, I don't know where he's from. Looking to draw around that corner guard. It's a little high and a little inside. There's some backing though, so Raju could still try to pick it out. And he also indicates that his team is sitting 2. So Skidmore's draw, a positive outcome. It's a little open though, not buried. Does improve the situation a bit though, as Raju's looking at his options. And I think looking to draw again as Masalma gets set and delivers. Just looking for a draw, I believe. Trying to think about where Raju wants this stone to end up. I think he maybe wants to draw another one to the top of the rings to prevent Betts from using that corner guard anymore. Because it's not really set up to protect the front shot stone. Curious about this shot selection because now Betts can hit and roll and be shot buried. Um, so Masalma made the shot, but I just don't know if that's the uh, the position that Raju would have wanted. Just in terms of like where Raju kind of traded an opening is kind of what I'm saying. It's going to hit. It's going to roll wide, so it rolls opposite where I think Betts had wanted it, but it does get rid of the shot stone. That yellow is shot stone, and so now Betts is sitting 1-3, while Raju is 2-4. So positive outcome, just kind of with the wrong side of the inch, as it were. So it looks like Raju is going to take on that shot stone, which makes sense. Really try to prevent Team Betts from having an opportunity to score multiple points. As Raju pushes out from the hat, his first here in the 5th without the hammer but a 4 point lead, a 5 point lead. So this is over curling, I think, and we have our first flash of the ends. He actually ends up clipping his own stone. I don't know if he had the right turn, but that's a miss, and now it gives Betts an opportunity to score multiple points here. I'm gonna guess that he's gonna try and put a rock. Yep, instead of putting him to the top 8 foot. Um, this is a situation where he could try to score four if everything goes Betts' way, and I'll explain. He's going to put in a second stone right now to be shot or second shot, and then Raju will try to probably take out one of those stones. And if Raju gets rid of one of those yellows, then the most Betts could score is three. But if Raju misses again, there's a chance that Betts could split that yellow that's in the bottom right quadrant of the view. He could try to hit that yellow on the side to try to tap it in, tap it up, and then have the shooter roll in. The only down, oh, or the other option would be to hit the blue on the outside. So there's different ways to maybe score four, but that definitely relies on a lot of luck happening. The broom is down for Betts to, I think he wants to split now. That's my guess, especially based on where Skidmore has the broom. Let's watch as David delivers his first shot with the hammer behind a fistful of points, looking to try and get a couple back here with his first shot. So not a split, I think. I think looking to take out that blue now. As we see the shot go to the blue, taps it out. It's going to stick around, and that is technically shots on that wing. But Raju is looking to hit and roll the shot, the rock that he just tried to hit last shot. So interesting setup. Right now, Betts is sitting three, and we'll see what happens after Raju's next rock. And sorry, Raju's rock is away, going for the hits. Looks like it's much closer on being on target this time. Going to make contact, and the shooter's going to roll in toward the center, and it's going to be open for Betts to hit. So um, that scenario for four was kind of a long shot, and Raju, uh, because he was able to make this shot successfully, um, now creates an opportunity for Betts to score three. So uh, good shot from Raju, but it does open the door for Betts to get at least a little bit back here in this fifth end. Last rock, David Betts, nose hit for three. We see the sweepers just walking down now. Now Evans, Eric's now on it to try to sweep it over, torch it over. You want to stick around? It looks like it's on the money for one. Sorry, tapping the blue back. it's for three. Count them up. Good shot there from David Betts to claw back some points here to cut the deficit to two, as we now have a 6-4 game in favor of Team Raju. Taking a pause in the action, we'll be right back as we come back to the coverage of the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com Mopac Championships presented by Curling.gg. And the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club wanted to let viewers know of upcoming Bonspiel. So if you like what you see here on our broadcast, you can come experience Oakland Ice in person, including with the upcoming California Curling Classic on February 21st to 23rd. There's four team spots open, and there's a five-game guarantee. The slight wrinkle is that you have to be a team in California, and I checked. You can't be from Baja, California. You have to be from America, California, for some reason. Uh, Also, the Oaktown 5 and Under is coming up in February 7th through the 9th. There's several out of town team spots remaining. This is not a qualifier for a national championship, but it is a fun event regardless. That's the 5 and Under. And then registration is opening in early March, March 3rd, for the U.S. Women's Curling Association All American kind of a mini spiel with three-person teams. It's a one-day event. Um, because it is a U.S. Women's Curling Association event, they uh, are primarily female teams, but with two women identifying. But that means that there is some possibility for men to participate, which is great. And then also the Ball Bonspiel supporting LGBTQ is running from June 20th through the 22nd, and the registration again opens on March 3rd. So some upcoming events here at the San Francisco Club, or the Club as people don't call it. So Putnam puts up a center guard with his opening shots. Not on the center line, so it can be ticked, but not removed from the play. Do appreciate you all tuning in for this event as we see Danny draw around into the rings. Um, it is open though, as this end of coverage is being brought to you by Endgame Curling. David Betts is lining up Putnam for a hit and maybe a slight roll. Endgame Curling. Unlock your potential with the curling broom that's right for you. And this shot from Eric is looking pretty good. It's around the center guard. Now let's see where it hits the blue. Looks like it's a little inside, but you're going to see a little bit of a roll, and that was pretty good there from Mr. Putnam. Yeah, I don't think anyone calls it the club. I keep trying to make it happen, and people tell me to stop. So as we see Danny gets set for his second stone, he's delivering it. Looking for another, I think, training some shots. So this is going to be a draw. I said a draw, but it's actually ending up as a guard. I'm not sure if that's what Raju wanted. As Betts has the broom down for Tudor Elliott. He's looking to draw around. I think maybe to be on top, like kind of behind the center guard in the top of the house. As the sweepers are on it, I think they're called off just because it's carrying a little bit. Ends up in a pretty good place. I think they may have wanted to, stay with it, sweep it to the top of the rings if they could. But I think that maybe that's uh, where Betts wanted it. And I say that because you don't want to create a run back, and teams at this level of competition can make run back shots with some ease. Now we're seeing some cleanup from Jason Nee. going to peel one yellow, and it taps the other yellow into the rings, moves them around, and the yellow guard also goes to the side of the playing area out of play. So that was a good clearing action from Jason. And there's so much action, I'm still trying to update the scoreboard. But Raju has the hammer this end, and it is a 6-4 game with up to 2 ends remaining here. We play up to 8 ends of regulation, and if we're tied after 8, we play an extra end. Teams are doing okay on time. Betts has over 10.5 minutes to play, 2.5 ends, which is going to be okay. Raju though is swimming in time with 14 minutes 21 seconds. As Evans' draw to the top of the rings is successful. Partially buried. So Jason's going to try to bop it out. And bop indeed he has. There's a Red Bull in the concessions area. I'll probably get one later. Although I do have 2 fists, so no, that'd be awful. All right, looking to draw around on the outside with Chris Skidmore's first rock here of the 6th end. Looking pretty good. Want to be shot buried after this, and it's going to be shots not quite buried. Actually, pretty well covered. When you look at the head-on view, it looks to be about 60% covered. So that was a great draw there from Chris Skidmore. As Raju has the broom down for Amar to do some more bopping. I used to have a jazz show, and one of my favorite albums to play was called Everybody's Boppin'. And you might think Bop is dead, but you're just telling a lie. And then there's some scat involved, but I'm not going to try to do any scat right now. Skiddly boop. Okay, that's it. Bop bop doo bop bop. All right. You can't get me to do any more scat for the rest of this game. Although Jason did clear the front. Sorry, that's Amar that cleared the front. Good shot there. As we see Skidmore, I think looking to draw around on the other side, so probably a smidge more weight. Be shot, or at least have a second counter, as we see Eric Putnam dig in. This might curl back on. Nope, it's not going to curl back on the guard or the front blue. It's a little heavy, so now the question is where is it going to stop? And it's going to stop in the back of the 12 foot. Uh, that looks to be shot. Also gives backing for Raju to draw on top of. So it looks to be shot just barely. There's 2 Betts yellows in the rings. And so now Raju is looking at tapping the blue up perhaps. I mean, you could probably also just draw in or draw on top. But Chris Skidmore for Betts was asked to draw twice, and he nailed those shots. So could be a game saver for Team Bets as they are down two without the hammer here in the sixth end. Looking at the situation for Raju, he's still talking it over. He has time to burn, so he can really look over what he needs to do for a shot. Looking at a possible hit and roll. Um, so I think he's lined up for the hit and roll. The draw does not make sense from where he has the broom. A lot of times, skips who are doing takeouts or hits put the broom next to the rock they want to hit because that line is the most important. Um, Otherwise, if you're doing a draw or a guard, you want to put it on the T line. We have some pinball action and a bit of a disaster there from Amar. Um, as I think it over curled and crashed on the blue in the top of the rings and kind of ricocheted, clearing out the front and really kind of favoring Betts, who is now sitting three. So now the turns have tabled, and Betts is sitting three, and without the hammer is kind of trying to push Raju into making a tricky shot. That was kind of how Raju got that four spot in three, where Raju just put a lot of rocks in the rings and did not leave Betts a an opening to score more than a draw. And Betts tried to draw and was a bit heavy and gave up four. This is the first rock from Betts without the hammer here in six. And for Betts, stealing is great, but forcing Raju to one would also be great, because you want to be able to store multiple points with the hammer. Betts puts up a stone in the top 12-foot ring. Pretty good placement. Also because Raju can't, even if he hits that yellow out, it's not going to score. So Raju is looking to probably ignore that stone, and he's going to draw in now. And so then, depending on where Raju's rock ends up, Betts is either going to maybe hit or draw, uh, or guard. Um, I think if Raju makes the shot, I mean, ideally Betts would try to make it go away, but he could perhaps draw on top of it, depending on where it ends up. It's a setup that does provide some opportunities for Raju as his first shot is away. It's also photo day at the club, insofar as we have the banner up for the regional association, and we are going to take photos for the teams and share them on the Facebook page. So this rock is a smidge heavy. It's going to go to the back of the 8 foot and his second shot. So I would think that uh, Betts will draw on top of it and sit two, and then force Raju to draw for a single. So that's what I meant when it's like he could hit or he could draw. And obviously, it depends on the outcome of Raju's first shot. If it was open, you would just hit it out. But given that it's corner frozen to the yellow, I'm going to be pretty sure that Betts is going to draw and sit on top of it. Betts is doing the opposite turn of his first shot. He threw counterclockwise out turn with his first, and now we're seeing the in turn clockwise rotation. Last shot, wants to be sitting second shot or shots, doesn't want to be light, And also, I don't think he wants to make it easy for Raju, and I don't think he will. As it settles in right on top, that is on the money there. Another great draw from David Betts. And so now facing two, Raju has a draw for one. So that is kind of the strategy that we were talking about for Betts to get into this game. For Raju, he has a little bit of house money to play, so he could uh, be okay taking one here, especially since he has the hammer in the even ends. And we are here at the last rock of the sixth end. The hammer coming from P and Raju facing two, draw for one. Little wobble on the release, recovers really nicely. And he has some backing, so he's throwing a little bit more weight than just a normal draw, because a little hit's not going to do too much damage, although too much weight is disastrous. And this is coming down pretty nicely. And they want a little bit more curl, and it rolls slightly, but it sticks around to be shots. So that shot is made by Raju for a single points. And so the shot was made, and he will take a single points and add to his now 7-4 lead over Team Betts. And we'll take a pause in the action and be right back to the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com Mopat Championships, coming to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. Rocks in play. We're underway here in the seventh end. We have Team Raju of San Francisco Bay Area Curling holding a 7-4 lead over Team Betts, hailing from Wine Country Curling. As we see the first rock from Eric Putnam. This looks to be uh, a heavy draw to take out the draw that Danny just put up for Team Raju. This is coming up short at Hogged, and curious what happened there. So it looks like Raju is going to put up a guard on the outside as we see Danny Pazikowski get sets. Danny has thrown exclusively guards and draws this game. He has not thrown a single hit. Otherwise, he has been asked to throw a pretty even mix of in-turns and out-turns in terms of the rotation. And this is going to go into the rings. Looks like that's what Raju wanted, although it does set up a possible double. Um, Betts needs to score, I think, two here to really stay in this game. Needs to convert the hammer, and then I can't really force Raju to a single. He needs to steal the last. Um, as we see, Betts set up for a quarter guard, I believe. Interesting. I like usually try to put up a guard on the open side, but he might be going to guard the occupied side. Well, it's not a guard. It's going to go in the rings. It's going to settle in for second shot on the edge of the 8 foot. It seems to be what David Betts wanted. And that's a good recovery from hogging the first rock at the end. Betts thrown a mix of hits and draws. Um, been modestly successful, but he's had a couple of key misses, unfortunately, as we see Jason Knees first rock looking to do some cleanup on the house. And it looks like it's going to hit the yellow, and the shooter's going to roll across the rings and settle in in the back of the playing area outside of the house. But the shot was made. Um, Jason, I haven't recorded all the shots for Jason, but he's thrown another mix of draws and guards. Kind of asked to hit early, and then in the third and fourth ends, especially the end where Raju got four, he threw draws, and then lately he's thrown hits. So now Betts has the room down for a draw again for Evan Tudor Elliott. Uh, Elliott has made all of the shots that I recorded, although the first one was pretty close to a miss. The very first shot that he threw. Otherwise, mostly hits for Elliott. As let me show you what happened there. Drew on top of the top blue. So I think Betts wanted to go to the shot blue with a draw. Um, so I think the strategy of this end is to just muck things up and hopefully get 2 points out of this. And for Raju, it's just going to be try to hit. And the yellow goes out, and then the blue that it was sitting on top of also goes away. So Raju is sitting two, and Betts is asking for a freeze on top of the shot blue. And coverage of this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Broom is down for Evan. And looking for a freeze. Supers are on it. Need to make sure it carries and doesn't start to park. And it is a slight tap, so not a full freeze, but it definitely puts it right in front of that shot stone. And Raju is not going to be able to hit it out easily, although Raju does have some rocks to spare if you wanted to take it on. Broom's down for just putting up a front stone, just kind of blocking that path and then kind of forcing Betts to do the cleanup. Yeah, just speaking of cleanup, sometimes you create situations in the house where you become like teenagers trying to avoid doing the cleaning, and this is a situation where
Raju saying, "I don't want to clean, you clean," and it looks like that shot was successful. A front rock, really blocking the path there. So a shot well made there by Mar Masalma. So the broom is down. Not sorry. Ben's just considering his options. He could try to run the blue back, one of the blues back, and that's what he's thinking, I believe. The other option is to try to draw. He has the hammer, um, and he has some stones to burn, as it were. So the broom is down for a tap of blue onto yellow onto blue for Chris Skidmore. This looks pretty good. Let's see how it hits the blue on the outside. Okay, so it over curled and hit the blue on the inside, which is the not the angle they wanted. Does move some stones around a bit, and so now we're kind of talking about cleanup. Raj, you could just maybe tap the blue back and just then just totally remove that tap back from the equation. So it looks like Raju's opting to draw on the other side, sit two, as we see Amar's second stone. Amar's thrown, I would say mostly hits. Actually, a pretty even mix of draws and hits. This rock is going to end up going into the pile, I believe, or actually blocking the center. So that run back is still there. And I think if Skidmore throws a very similar shot to what he just threw, it could be close. So Skidmore has lately been throwing draws, but this is going to be a hit. He needs to hit on the right side, and this is over curling again as it hits on the inside and pushes the yellow through the house out of play. It does open the rocks in the interior of the house, but those are two tap back attempts that were just not quite on the money. I want to let you all know about the quadruple header of games that we have today at the Ye Old Oakland curling facility. We have the 9:30 draw that you're watching it right now. Come back at 1 o'clock Pacific time to catch the feature game between Team Aronson and Team Murray. Those are Coyotes clubs. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll have a contest between Team McBride of OC Curling facing Team Leclerc of Coyotes. And then the nightcap will be Team Campbell, another Coyotes squad, taking on Team Gilbert from Oval Curling of Utah. So the broom's down, and that nightcap is at 8:30. All on the Mopac YouTube channel. Do hope you'll tune in. And then at the end of that last game, we will know who will be advanced into the playoffs as Raju delivers his first rock of the seventh end without the hammer, but sitting in a pretty good position. I think looking to block that run back path. This is over curling, but it might go into the pile and wick off, and only a slight wick, and actually it might be enough. Um, I think Best is gonna have to take it on though because he needs to score two here, two or more to have a chance. And I think from the overhead, it looks like it's accessible, and then when you go to the head-on view, it looks like it's only 40% open. So teams are doing okay on time. They have one more end after this, and so if they want to, if they have about 3 minutes 45 seconds, that should be enough time to play the last end. So trying to figure out what bets might be considering. Um, I'm trying to think about what scenarios here. I was thinking about them drawing on the side that Skidmore has the broom, um, and be buried. But Betts is looking to maybe make a play on those blues at the top, but I'm not sure what those blues accomplish. Um, I was thinking that with a heavy draw, you could probably get to the rocks in the center of the rings, but uh, I don't think Betts thinks that it's there, and I'm not on the ice. I can't say otherwise. Um, so it looks like they're doing a clearing action with his first, and then he'll need to be able to set something up for two. Um, he could try to take 1 point here and then try to steal two in the eighth, but that is a tall order for any team. As David Betts delivers his first rock here, looking to see some granite fly. And we're see one blue go, and then the shooter's going to roll to the boards out of play. So it does open up play to the middle. But Raju's going to throw out probably a very similar shot to his first, although he'd also go into the rings. And so they're looking at this side. However, they could also split the rings at this point and really make it hard for Betts to even draw for one. Because if Betts, if this side is closed off, then Betts will have a draw for one. If Raju just draws, okay, I guess he's doing it so he like if he misses, there's not a shot for two, and that's my guess. Because if Raju were to try to draw and if you were light and not sitting second shot or shot, then Betts would have a chance for two. As we see Raju's last rock of the end without the hammer coming down the ice. Uh, Raju's had a pretty solid game so far. He's only really had one outright miss, and that was for a takeout in the fifth end, and that's what kind of set up the door for Betts to get his three spot. And this is over curling, but it might be enough. I'm going to say probably not. So that was a miss, and now the door is open for Betts to do a heavy draw to tap the yellow on the blue and stick around for two. So if you were consulting the textbook on how to play a curling game, curling strategy 101, this is shaping up to favor Betts. Although some of this play is a little unorthodox. But this is the last rock, a chance for two from David Betts. Needs needs a tap back, if not a full outright takeout. They're trying to push it over, it looks like it's a little outside, and it's gonna flash. Oh my goodness. So a couple crucial misses there by both skips at the end of the end, and Raju is going to take an 8-4 lead, and we're taking a pause here as we take a minute break in between the ends. We have one more end to play, and we'll keep an eye on the situation here. Oh my goodness, Betts had a pretty good setup and then just was not able to convert. Um, and I think what happened is that like Betts had seen two of his team's stones over curl, and he definitely did not want that to happen. So he threw a little up weight, but the rocks did not. The rock didn't curl as much as I think he was hoping. So we are heading into the eighth end with Team Raju holding an 8-4 lead over Team Betts as they get set to start this end. Uh, Keep an eye on the clock. They have to wait until like there's 5 seconds to go before they get set. Raju has the broom set. I don't know if he's gonna stick in the rings. He might throw through because for Raju, you don't want to have any rocks in the rings really to provide cover for Betts. And that is a throw through, kind of the victory formation of curling. So now Putnam's going to try to put up a corner guard. And while that is being set up, let's take a look at the standings for the men's and women's fields. The women's field first because it's a little easier to go over as Putnam's Rock is away. In the women's field, we have 7 teams. The top 3 teams advance. And right now at the top of the pool, we have Team Aces at 4-1, followed by Aubrey and Thing to Durai at 3-1, and Camarena is just behind at 3-2. So Aces only has one game left, but it looks like they are likely to get a playoff spots. And then these other teams have 2 games remaining, although Camarena has one game remaining. So Camarena has a chance. And then 2 teams, the bottom of the table is Team Walsh, followed by McDonald and Muirs. And those teams don't seem like they will be able to advance. Though I definitely hope they do have a good experience and maybe a chance to play a spoiler. In the men's field, we have 2 pools. The pool that we're looking at is Pool B, as we had Danny throw through again, and it looks like uh, Putnam's being asked to put up a second corner guard on the opposite side of the sheets. Um, So we're looking at Pool B, and right now Team Leclerc is at top of the table with a 3-0 record, followed by Barajas and McBride at 2-1, and then Raju, Spangler, and Betts are bringing up the rear. And the top 2 teams advance, and so all these teams have 2 games to go according to the standings. So it looks like Leclerc is close to having their ticket punched for the playoffs, but don't want to jinx anything. Obviously, until it's 100%, you don't want to say for sure. It looks like Jason Nee is going to do the victory formation again, so that is a 3 throw throughs. And after this rock, then Raju can start hitting out. Um, So Betts has the 2 corner guards, and now he's going to be asking Evan Tudor Elliott to draw around the corner guard. Looking at Pool A for the men's field, again, 6 teams in each pool. We have Team Campbell at 3-0. Team Tate is a step behind at 3-1. Tate has one game remaining, and followed by Aronson, Murray, and Gilbert, and then Myers bringing up the rear. Although Aronson and Murray are at 2-2. Um, so it looks like they could possibly step up into the top two of the pool. Um, the middle two teams, Murray and Gilbert, they might. Sorry, Gilbert might definitely have some work to do, but they could get lucky with 2 games remaining. And I'm not saying that just because they're from my home club at the Oval in Utah. But yeah, definitely some interesting results, and hopefully we'll see an interesting result here as Jason was able to make that takeout. So now we're going to see um, Evan Tudor Elliott try to draw around the outside. So Kim in the chat is asking if they're doing tiebreakers in terms of playing the tiebreaker game, and the answer is no. They're not doing tiebreakers. Let me check the procedure document. This rock is a little heavy. Let's see where it ends up. It's going to go through the house out of play. So that's a miss that Bats could not really afford, unfortunately, as they need to score 4 to tie and force the extra end. Um, as Raju is asking for Amar Masalma to peel the guard and to eliminate some of the hiding places for Bets. This is close. It will ticket and maybe just some action. Nope, it goes under the guard on the other side. So uh, Betts is looking to freeze there. So to answer Kim's question, tiebreakers are going to be determined through team seeding. As we see, Chris Skidmore's first shot, they called for a freeze, or Betts called for a freeze. So team seeding is being handled through first by win-loss record, and then if two teams are tied, then it's how they did head-to-head, as Breen notes, and that was not a freeze. It ends up going around as a shot, but it's open, and so Raju is going to try and pick it out with Amar's second rock, and we're getting very close to end game here, where Raju is close to running Bets out of stones. So yeah, so then there's if 3 or more teams are tied. Um, the record of the games between the tied teams shall provide the seeding. So then, yeah. So then also, I guess if there's a 3-way tie, then we go to the draw shot. Um, and then yeah, so Bree had it right. So it's head to head, the win loss record, and then draw shot challenge. And then if they're tied after all that, then it comes down to a coin flip. So, and that will set the playoffs. Again, we have 2 pools of 6 teams each for the men, and the top 2 from each pool will advance to play single elimination games on Sunday. So Amar was able to make the hits, and so it's a single Raju blue in the rings. This rock needs to sit to needs to be in the rings to set up a possible opportunity. Trying to bury it behind the blue, hoping for a lucky miss, ends up pretty open, and so Raju is just gonna bop that out and secure the win by running Bets out of stones. So it was a hard-fought game by both teams, but it was Team Raju that had the edge in this game, especially after scoring that 4 spot in the third end. Um, Betts had some opportunities, especially scoring 3 in the fifth end, but Raju scored single points in the sixth and seventh ends to open up a 4-point lead, and this could be the game right here as PN Raju's rock is away, just cleaning, and that rock is going to go away, and it's going to be handshakes all around. Make the final 8-4 for PN Raju in his rink as teams exchange handshakes. We're going to go around the reins and maybe join another game in progress. But that takes Raju to a 2-2 record, and Betts is still looking for their first win in pool play. Before we go around the rings, just another friendly reminder that coverage of this event is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com, offering rankings of the top men's and women's teams from around the world, DoubleTakeout.com, and by Curling.gg. Test your stip skills against your friends online at Curling.gg, and by Endgame Curling, elevating the standard for high performance brooms, endgamecurling.com. All right, let's take a look around the range and maybe join another game in progress. Although several games have left the ice, and there were only 4 games in progress. Looks like there's 1 game remaining. If they're not pushing the rock here, let's jump on sheet 3 and see what's happening. And they push the rocks. So let's go back to around the rings briefly. We might be all done for this draw. Excuse me a moment. Um, okay, so there is 1 game in progress. Let's jump on sheet A. And this is a contest between Team Spangler with the Red Rocks holding a 5-4 lead over Team McBride of OC Curling. McBride has the hammer, and it appears we are to skip stone. So let's jump in on that game right now, and then we'll recap the draw in the other games at the conclusion of this one. So uh, all the games so far on the broadcast have gone the distance. This has been great. I hope you guys are enjoying the games, and hopefully you'll tune in for the rest of the quadruple header, including the 1 p.m. game, as Cameron Spangler's first red rock without the hammer comes down the way. It looks like McBride is sitting 2, and I think Spangler wants to draw in, maybe tap one of the yellows out, and that is done. And so now McBride is sitting just the 1, but there is a kind of a pocket in an area for McBride to draw into. Our 1 p.m. game is going to feature Team Aronson and Team Murray. It's a Coyotes clash, as both of these teams hail from the Coyotes Curling Club of Tempe, Arizona. We do hope you'll join us then at 1 Pacific, followed by our 5 o'clock uh, early evening draw in our Mopac After Dark at 8:30 as we wrap up pool play on Moving Day Saturday. Mopac morning, hopefully you had a strong cup of coffee because these games were very eye-opening. You can also see that both teams have an okay amount of time. Spangler has a minute to make his last shot, so a little tight, but not too bad. But obviously, also Spangler wants to avoid giving up 2 here, and obviously, if you're McBride, you want to score 1 to tie, 2 to win. As we see McBride push out of the hack with his first of 2 skip stones and the hammer. And they're sweeping to hold the line. It looks like it's going to hit and roll in ever so slightly. And it sets in on the button. Gets rid of, I think, 1 or 2 of the Spangler Reds. And so now Spangler has called their timeout. Teams are coming down to talk about it.
And so kind of the option is to really draw on top, uh, really freeze. They don't want to tap and roll wide, but they have a little bit of buffer because if they're a little short, they could. Um, they could just prevent McBride from storing two. McBride has a hammer, so it's a tricky situation for Spangler here, as there are two McBride counters in the forefoot and the button, um, and there's a lonely red Spangler stone in the back of the forefoot. So looking for a draw, like a freeze on top of the McBride yellow in the back button. And also, like, this is the last game on the ice, so ice conditions could be changing, and teams may need to adjust. As we see Spangler slide out his last rock, hoping to be shot or at least cut McBride down to one. Both sweepers are on the stone. Now they're just kind of cleaning. It looks like now it's around the guard, just barely, but it's not enough. So that looks to be two, and it's going to be handshakes for Team Spangler and Team McBride, as Team McBride from OC Curling gets the win and wraps up our draw here. So looking again at the standings, McBride goes to 3-1 and is really close to punching their ticket to the playoffs. Again, only the top two teams from each pool of six advances, and Claire is at top right now with 3-0. Spangler falls to 1-3, and it's definitely, I think, going to be not able to come back to get into the playoff berth. But fascinating situation. One more trip around the rings in terms of the scores. So as the ice crew gets set, we're going to recap these games, the four games that were on the ice. Team McBride of OC Curling, the 6-5 winners over Team Spangler. Sheet B, Team Raggio of San Francisco, 8-4 over Betts. And for you can take brooms. I'll be right there. All right, so I'm going to take photos in just a moment. Team Leclerc of Coyote is the 4-3 winners over Team Barajas, and on sheet D, the women's game, Team Aces over Team Camarena. So that's going to wrap things up for our game. Please do join us at 1 p.m. for our afternoon game. And until then, this is on behalf of MOPAC, San Francisco Bay Area Curling, and our sponsors, DoubleTakeout.com, Curling.gg, and Endgame Curling. This is your host, Ryan, saying good morning and good curling.